unanimously endorsed to be Michigan's next governor. Welcome, John James.
Thanks, Mike.
Absolutely.
Well, you know how like when you were growing up and something went wrong with your siblings and you have to figure out who has to go to talk to mom. It's like, you go talk to mom, you go talk to mom. That was kind of a similar situation that me and Tony Forlini had after speaking after Ted Nugent. Nobody wants to speak after the Motor City Madman. But I'm so glad to be here with you today, so glad to be with our friends, and I'm so honored not only for my friend Ted Nugent's endorsement, but for yours. That's special. It's special because you know what it means to put yourself, your body, your life in between the good guys and the bad guys. You know what that's like, and I do as well. I'm not a law enforcement officer, never been, but I have been an officer in the United States Army. It's different. It's special. When you take that oath to protect and defend, you take that oath to defend this country against all enemies, foreign and domestic, it's different. When I was deployed in Iraq, 07, 09, as a combat Apache pilot, I took the lessons that I learned from West Point and in Ranger School, in one particular Ranger School training mission. I'll tell you a little bit of story about a young platoon leader who was leading through a simulation exercise and being pinned down in the dark with simulation rounds and artillery simulation going on and trying to communicate with my group, trying to bring order to chaos to accomplish the mission, making sure that we're able to bandage up the people who were injured and making sure that we can still prosecute the mission, understanding that around the entire force, I was asked where I was to get help and assistance. And my answer on the radio was, I'm by a tree. Understanding that, I was able to then take that understanding on that mission, understanding what it felt like on the ground, being surrounded by people who want to harm you. And I was able to take those lessons with me to Iraq. Flying on one particular mission, we were on our way to the southern portion of Baghdad, and we had to pass by a place called Sadr City. It was lined out almost like a baseball diamond with home base, first, second, and third. And that's kind of how we had the navigation. We had to cover the entire city of Baghdad with depleted resources and with declining morale. Does that sound familiar? We had to cover the entire area. We couldn't get to everything at once. And so as we were passing by, one of my co-pilots, one of my wingmen looked over at Sadr City and pointed to a particular area and said, "Sir, they're lit up like a Christmas tree down there. I think we should check it out." We had a mission. We had a mission to make sure that we protected the green zone against indirect fire, bombs that could destabilize the entire region and jeopardize our entire mission. I understood we had to put mission first, people always. But I was able to juxtapose and contrast and do both of these missions because I had a commander. I had a commander who, before we left that operations center, said, "I will underwrite every single one of your honest decisions." And so I knew that I could go and prosecute that mission and he would have my back. After a few minutes, we got a call over the radio. It said, "Switch the net down to the ground unit in that area." Lo and behold, there was an ambush and that area is lit up like a Christmas tree. The reason why we knew that is because typically in that area, it's hot in the summertime and people sleep on their roofs. They understand that in the area, people sprinkle water on top of their roofs to keep the dust down and to make sure that it's a little bit cooler. But if it's all buttoned up down there, then it's going to be hot on the roofs. We could see heat and we knew that something was going on. Because of that information we had, because we understood the area, we were able to get weapons trained on the enemy within seconds and neutralize the target. We were able to speak to the ground unit. And the ground unit commander, the fire was so close you could hear the language over the radio. You could hear the gunfire. And when they called for help, I asked for their location. And the young man over the net said, "I'm by a white bongo truck." Sound familiar? It's because it sounds a lot like it was when I was in training and when things were going on around me that were overwhelming. I didn't have the resources to take care of it and call for help. And the only thing you could see right then is your immediate pain. But we were called to help. I've always answered the call, just like you've always answered the call. And I was able to work with him on the ground, and we were able to understand where in the proximity of those bases he was. We were able to find him in those locations, and we were able to neutralize the enemy target. This is what happens when you have people in the air with a different perspective, high above the best, serving the people on the ground who understand to take those resources to serve those who are the best. And you do that each and every single day. It's because we understood what it was like on the ground, and we understood what it takes to get our resources to those areas to help those people. We were able to land, we saved a number of American lives, and we were able to neutralize the enemy. And again, we are in a similar situation. Right now, we have Michiganders who are desperate. We have Michiganders who are being failed by the education system, with our children who are 44th in the nation, unable to read. We have people who are being failed by the Green New Deal agenda that's jacking up our energy prices. We have people who are being failed by Lansing who believe that all of our answers come from Lansing and not through local control. We have people who are failing us because they are making your lives more risky by putting these activist DAs, prosecutors, and judges in a position where they can release people on the street before you get off your shift. And that ends when I become governor. When I become governor, you will have someone who will always have your six because he understands what it's like to be in the line of fire, to make life and death decisions in a split second, to presume you innocent when you're doing among the toughest jobs in the world. Having somebody at the top who can change a culture, a philosophy, and environment for you to do your jobs more effectively will not only change your retention, your recruiting, but also make sure you're well taken care of after a long career with your retirements. These are the things that you carry each and every single day, and this is the allegiance that you deserve. These are the things that I understand because I've lived this life myself. I've lived the life of somebody who's watched his friends die in the line of fire, and then also come back and deal with the unseen scars of war, that PTSD, that closed head injuries, and the things that lead to addiction and suicide. These are mental health issues that warriors like ourselves have had to deal with, and having somebody who understands that at the highest level will absolutely help you to do your jobs more effectively. I want to say thank you for your support. I want to say thank you for your service, and it's been an honor. It's been an honor to serve you, and I'm looking forward to continuing that service and bringing all the resources that I have because you are the ones who are truly the heroes here, and I'm excited to serve you. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your support.
Thank you again.